5 years. It took a lot of time and research and development. So a lot of people ask, why do you want to build the world record Subaru? It's kind of a handful, especially on dirt. To share with you guys today the world record naturally aspirated Subaru. I built it in about 4 or 5 years. It took a lot of time and research and development. I just kind of wanted to share it with you guys since I had a lot of people asking about it. So a lot of people ask, why do you want to build the world's record Subaru naturally aspirated? Why not put a turbo on it? Well, our class says we have to be naturally aspirated, but you may think, okay, well, it's 400 horsepower, it's not very much. Well, the car with me inside it only weighs 1,100 pounds, if that. It's a little less than that. It's like 1,080, all fueled up, ready to go racing. So when you have 400 horsepower in a car that weighs 1,100 pounds, it's kind of a handful, especially on dirt. So we race this car on dirt. See the dirt tires. It's not an asphalt car. It is a dirt car. We have pulled some wheelies in it. Not going to say the setup was right, but anyways, I want to explain to you guys how we. So I'm going to start with the fuel system. If we work our way back here, we have a -8 line coming out of the fuel tank, going to an XRP fuel filter. That XRP runs all the way up here to the fuel shutoff, just in case, you know, we ever catch fire or anything, and I'm stuck here in this little death trap. Because it is a little hard to get out of here. It's very claustrophobic with the wheel being pretty much touching my tummy because, you know, I like to eat food and whatnot. But anyways, back to the fuel system. We have that line going to the shutoff. That line goes up here, runs to our mechanical fuel pump, goes in here to a -8, comes out 2 -6s. Now, a -6 runs into this rail, and another -6, on the bottom one, runs into this rail over here. And these two rails are connected through the back of here with a line that goes from a T on it to right here. And that T goes to a fuel pressure regulator. That fuel pressure regulator is shown on my dash. Backside right there is where it connects, right above the coil pack. And that line runs all the way back here and goes back into the tank. So we like to run about 65 pounds of pressure. Seems to be the sweet spot for these 1600cc monstrous injectors, and those are rated for methanol, so they have a stainless steel interior inside the injectors. So we've ran a couple different injectors before, and those what seem to work the best. We have been through quite a bit of injectors. Here's one set right here. Or I guess someone took one of them out. Oh, there's the other one. And we got another set inside of the shop, and obviously a fuel pressure regulator for all the issues we have, or a tester for the fuel pressure regulator, and that comes in handy. Here are some extra cogged belts we have for our drive system, because we throw some belts every once in a while from eating them up. So this is one of our pumps running the power steering, like I said, the fuel pressure. And the other pump we have here is our sump system. So now that we're talking about the fuel system and wrapping that up, I think we're going to move on over to the sump system. So this ARE sump pump, yes, bought from ARE. It's in Roseville, or actually Loomis, California. So ARE hooked us up with this ARP sump system, and it comes with the pump, and a couple other things for the Subaru cars, but mainly this ARP oil pan. So this sump pan down here, it works wonders, and it has a couple different fittings on it, more than you'll need. And we got 2 pickups. These are pickups for the sump pump, and they go into the sides of here, and those are, I believe, -8. So 2 -8s going into the sump pump. Sump pump pumps up the oil, sends it out the scavenge, and puts it right back into the sump tank. And that system works pretty good. We did have some problems getting it to work right with pulley size. We had to change the pulley size. I know, I'm sorry you can't see the pulley. The stupid cover's in the way. So we had to mess around with pulley size to get, the right amount of oil out of the engine. Obviously, you don't want oil flooding your engine, because once the oil builds up too high, it was actually getting into the cylinders, and I'll go over that a little bit later in some later videos once we get more into the race season and we get out racing a little bit. But overall, we've worked out most of our issues with this engine. Not saying we're not going to run into any. I bet you we run into at least 2 or 3 throughout the race season. Probably more, because you guys know Murphy's Law, and it's racing an engine practically that no one's ever seen or built before. So now that we get on to the engine part, this is not the race engine, by the way. This is just a mock-up motor so we can make these aluminum lines, which are a lot better than the steel braided stuff, because this stuff just, it hurts your hands whenever you go to grab it or touch around it, or you'll cut yourself up, and that's not good when you're racing, and you have to deal with a cut, and you have to be out in 10-15 minutes to go out racing again, because the system's really quick. So when we come in, we'll have, like, if we're lucky, at least 20-30 minutes, if not maybe 5-10 to get back out and go racing again. Sometimes I don't even get out of the car, and we pull the car in, put some fuel in it, like a gallon or 2 at most, because we don't run more than, I'd say, 5-6 gallons at a time, and that's for about 30 laps. So anyways, getting back to the fuel system, we have this little adapter head that screws into where the oil filter would, and we are running an external oil filter over here, which is an Oberg. Oberg is very good. It's very nice for racing, because we can take this apart throughout the night and clean it if we need to, if need be. Unfortunately, we found metal shavings in it twice, as this is a 3rd motor we are working on, which I will be picking up the race motor in about a week here. I'd love to share the build with you guys. I don't really want to talk about it because I don't have it in front of me, and I'd like to show you guys on camera what it took to build something like this. It's something else. It's something I think everyone should try. Everyone that has a little bit of time on their hands, because it truly is amazing to build something that no one else has there. It's an incredible feeling, and I'd recommend trying it. So back to this system. So we went through the fuel system. We went through the oiling system, most of it at least. I think we'll move on to the EFI. So we are running a Stinger V3, and it's pretty straightforward. The harness plugs in back here. There's a ignition switch, and really basic system. We're running a little small, tiny motorcycle battery that's right here. You guys can see the plate. I made a little charger station so we can just clip on some alligator wires and charge it throughout the night while we're racing. Don't want to lose any voltage throughout the night, but I mean, it happens. And we have stopped racing a few times because we ran out of battery power, but we're working on figuring that out with the new battery. If you guys have any recommendations, I'd say this battery needs to be I'd say it's about 3.5 inches wide and maybe 6 inches long. So if you guys know any good batteries out there, let me know. And if you guys aren't familiar with the drivetrain, it's just basically a straight axle, no transmission, and that's kind of what keeps the car so light. Like I said, it's 1,100 pounds with me inside the car, driving on the track with fuel and everything, oil, and it's driving on the track race ready. So that could be quite a handful on dirt with 400 horsepower. It's a monstrous experience. I recommend everyone trying to get in one of these cars at one point, driving them. It is a higher horsepower to weight ratio than an F1 car, and you may not believe it until you drive one, and it truly is a new experience. But yeah, this is my motor, and I'd like to go through the race motor when I pick it up next week with you guys. Maybe posting some more videos about racing. I want to have a full race season this year, and I want to record it all, because last year was a little bit choppy throughout the race season. We had a lot of problems and issues with our fuel system and whatnot. Some oiling problems, considering we blew a motor and our rods were seized together. They're one-piece rods, so that was kind of a pain in the butt to tear that motor apart. But I will be picking up the actual race engine in about a week here, and I'm going to go through that with you guys. I don't want to tell you guys how I built it yet until I have it in front of me and I can show you guys the actual motor. And if you guys have any questions, I'll do a little panoramic view and you guys can ask anything you'd like. I will be filming putting the motor in the car once I get it, and I'm going to go through a lot more on it, and I would love to answer any of your guys' questions you guys have, because I'm sure I'm leaving at least 100, 200 questions up for grabs. And yeah, so this is my build. Thank you guys for watching.